All right, we're going to do that thing we're doing lately where we go live a little earlier. But let me see. Making sure we're shared out. Looks like we're good. Let me throw this on the community. Hey, Juliet. Hey, Hope. Hey, Cool Gamer. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Daphne. Good to see you. Hey, GWT. Trisha. Did I say Trisha twice? I probably did. Hey, R-Top. Hey, buddy. All right. We're going to throw it out on the community post. Live now. Watching some vids you told me I had to see and more. That's what we're doing right now. I've been doing this thing where we're trying to go live just a little bit earlier because a lot of you were saying you like that. And I know, oh, if Navy's out there, so if you guys see Navy in the chat, tell him he can jump in whenever he wants, of course. And it's up to him. And then we need to talk about the reaction of the internet to what happened with the admission that Letitia is factually now being admitted by both sides. They're not even calling it a lie and trying to sow confusion and arguments that, oh, look, I put my gloves on. It's cold. It got really cold up here. So yes, I'm wearing my gloves. I tell you that I'm wearing my gloves because some of my haters will lose their minds at the fact that I wear gloves when it's cold. And also when you play games, sometimes when you play video games, if you play a lot, you can get like a little bit of swelling right here. So it just helps to have this little thing. It's like a cushion. Anyway, I haven't been gaming lately, so it doesn't hurt. Anyway, I kind of don't even want to get into this because we're going to listen to a father talk about Marvon Sr. talk about and be interviewed by Molly. So I don't want you to judge Marvon Sr. by Molly, and I don't want you to judge Molly by Marvon Sr. I want you to try to stay as neutral as you can. I already have issues, and I've only played a few seconds of it. I've got major issues. You know, we'll get into that ourselves. I guess I should probably do an intro. It's kind of sad, you know, you don't feel that kind of issue coming from Molly, where you don't see a reserved individual who's explaining themselves, being, you know, trying to report on these things, be careful about it, concerned of what she's talking about. It's more of a destruction hate fest aimed at Dre. And I'm only 40 seconds in. It's just too much. But anyway, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kind of, before we get into this reaction video, that'll give people time to show up if they want to, once they see what we're doing. Before we get into reacting to the interview of Marvon Sr. by Molly, this was only about 8 days ago. And I got briefed on it by people that watched the whole thing. But of course, you in my live chat, you guys told me yesterday that I need to see it. And maybe it was the day before. And I you know, I trust that you want me to see it. And I feel like I need to also. It's something I've tried to avoid. Anyway, real quick, it's 11/13 of 2022. And it's only 5 p.m. here in New York time or East Coast time, depending on if you're an international viewer or not. So, oh, man. Editing but listening. Awesome, Ninja. Glad to have you. Keep doing that editing. Get that skill built. You know what I'm saying? It's a skill that you got to build. You know, you'd think that people would be taking the subject seriously by now, and they're not. Got the normal trolls. Of course, they take issue to me calling them trolls. I'm talking about people out there who, even on the day after the night, remember the night before, Molly had admitted that Letitia was under investigation, and we'd broken down what that means, how that, if we came out criticizing, saying that this fundraiser and what they're doing is a lie, if you look at the evidence, if you look at what's actually happened. And we were called liars, we were attacked, they attempted to dox us and harass us. And then you expect that when they finally do have to admit that we had good reason to say the things that angered them, we were helping them by putting out, you know, the facts and getting them to look at the facts. And when you expect the people out there who supported Molly to report the story, you expect the people out there who backed this entire thing about Letitia and Molly and everything that was going on, maybe to tell the audience the truth. Why is it that so many of them decided to either stop reporting on this the moment that that happened, and it's just gone and they've moved on to other things? They can't, you know, I haven't seen them tell their audience that Letitia's being investigated, that we were right the whole time, that they needed to be criticized, that they were wrong for backing them. And to take it a step further really quick, of course, I'm just kind of, you know, doing our little intro to give you guys time to show up, but the other side of this is that we've even had bold-faced liars come out, most likely because they didn't see Molly admit that we were right, admit that the investigation is real. They came out and tried to act like we were framing Letitia and Molly. And then the realization obviously must have hit them later. Even Molly disagrees with you. So I just want you to pay attention. The reason misinformation, the reason lies, the reason these people are able to do what they do, for most of you that keep asking yourself, how do they keep doing this? How do they make money doing this? How is it that people believe what they're saying? Those other YouTubers who only report the things that make them look like the good guys, them look like the victims, them look like all the things that Molly and them, all that stuff they did. When you have those YouTubers out there backing that up, and then you've got them refusing to report the truth when it comes out and they can't deny it anymore. This is this is what gives them the ability to keep doing this. That is, until more and more people start to push against it, start to share the facts, start to actually expose that they're lying. And then, of course, it's a process. As more and more people see the evidence, they realize they were on the wrong side. They were backing the wrong horse. It's crazy because you know what people do? They start deleting accounts. It is a factual thing. When you have viewership and they're looking at, and they've been backing a losing side that they were being lied to the whole time, and so they end up backing the people that are lying to them, like in a fraud raiser or like in a Dre situation, like in what we're looking at. When people do realize, oh my God, all those live chats I was in with my account talking smack and supporting all of this, it's embarrassing, they delete their accounts. They do. And they go through accounts a lot. Either way, I'm done rambling. Let's go ahead and start reacting to, I'll tag Navy. I don't know. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes right now, so I'm just going to tag him. If you want to join, jump on in. Up to you. Make sure Navy knows, just in case he wants to get in here, so that you guys can hear his voice. I know you love hearing his voice. I know it's that accent. Gets all of you. And I don't want to hit play. I don't want to do it. Though, just to update you guys on some new stuff from YouTube. There's a Q&A now. I've opened the Q&A. And if you put your questions here, or if you ask the moderators to put the questions here, or mods, if you see questions and you want to put them over here in the Q&A, that will stop them from scrolling away. It's another type of feature that we have to try and make sure we don't miss your questions or miss things you want to add. And you don't have to be questions. You guys can put like your observations there if you want, okay? Also, it is the middle of the month. So we're leading into December soon. Now, that's important because YouTube pops off in December. You got Christmas, you got advertisers going crazy, and you're going to see a lot of these channels that do this stuff trying to get in there for that. They're going to try to work in because they want to be there for that. Even more so, we've got Letitia's, the rumor that she's going to be showing up in the beginning of December in court to answer for the fundraiser and the harassment that is beside the fundraiser. When we get more information about that, if anything else comes out, I'll let you know about it, because I do think that'll be pretty indicative of why it needed to be criticized, why they should have ran the fundraiser the way you're supposed to. They should have respected you guys, the donators. And if you do want to support me, super chat, like, subscribe, all that stuff really works. But the reason I share the PayPal link is because it comes through right now, and then I can get Red Bulls for my streams. So it's paypal.me/UNIRock. You guys know the Red Bull thing is a big joke, obviously. Let me go ahead and center my camera while we get, let's rewind, because Molly's already said a bunch of dumb stuff, and I don't know why she couldn't step away from the barking dog. I don't know why she couldn't actually be a little professional here.
So right now, Mr. Marvon is standing outside of his house, and I came to him.
Oh my God, you both are standing outside of a house? Who would have thought? Wow.
He's just as confused as everyone else is.
Nobody is confused. It's an act. You're putting on an act about being confused. You're not confused.
Started talking, and he asked. He said, let's just record this, because
he said to record it. You guys started talking, and he said to record this. Huh.
I'm really angry, and I made...
You're angry? Huh, well, I guess we all are.
...a video where I don't know what to believe, and neither does he.
You don't know what to believe. Well, you could start listening to those of us that have been proven right through this whole thing and stop following your conspiracy theories. Let me tell you what to believe really fast. The truth. Dre took Marvon into a assisted living so that he could have 24/7 round-the-clock supervision and medical assistance. Also, she also chose to stop communicating with the other side of the family because they were accusing her of abusing her kids, murmuring, and many other extreme things. They were inciting mass levels of harassment using you and the other YouTubers that were pushing the lies against her. And you guys also took in a shit ton of money and ran off with it and didn't do any of the things you said you were going to do. And I don't know why, Molly, you think you can act abusive to family members, but they're forced to keep talking to you. You know, you being a very abusive person, maybe that's what you think you should try to force the world to be. But those of us that are healthy, when someone tries to steal from us, when they lie to us, when they use us, when they accuse us of things we didn't do constantly for no reason, and they're acting like they do, it is healthy for us to put a barrier up with that family member or that person until they decide to start showing a modicum of respect. You don't need to be confused. The only thing that's confusing is the fact that you think anyone's buying your BS. Bark, bark.
We keep getting information over the telephone saying that it was a hoax, that he was dead.
And the woman who spread that hoax is standing right next to you. We have proven through showing every bit of the information that's come out. We showed you from when it first came out, and additionally the more information that came out. And we have proven where the hoax came from, and the website themselves named the hoax on these people that put it out. Molly put it out. LB put it out. They did it. And you're standing next to the hoaxer, okay? You get the phone calls that it's a hoax, for God's sake. Literally, you can look and see how the information came out. You know, and Wynette is constantly watching Molly. She's always, I have a clip of Molly that we're going to see here in a little bit. And in the live chat, Wynette is there constantly. So why can't Wynette tell you that it came from Molly? Why can't, you know, or are you guys literally trying to help? Look at Molly right here. Look at Molly. This is how a lying gaslighter acts. She's got the nerve to spread this hoax about this man's kid who's in a coma, and spread a hoax that he died. And you know he probably thought it happened. He probably was devastated. Okay? At any point, I don't blame Marvon Sr. because I don't think he's an internet guy. And I could be wrong. I'm just giving him probably some charity here, but I don't think he's an internet guy. But it's really hard to believe that Wynette isn't sitting there telling him everything that she's seeing from Molly. everything that's happening. Maybe he doesn't want to hear it. I know a lot of people like that. They don't want any of that drama. They don't want any of that, the lies and the gossip. And so maybe he doesn't let Wynette tell him what's going on. But Wynette should be able to know what happened. And are you covering? Maybe, I don't think Marvon Sr. is, but Wynette has to be covering for Molly, or she would have told Marvon the truth.
So, and I tried to talk to the detective in Yuma, but he never called me back, So
you're even telling me the detectives are ignoring you. You know what I think you know why I think they're ignoring you, Marvon Sr.? They saw you on Molly's show. They saw you guys taking in money from Molly's show. They saw Wynette taking in money from Molly's show. They saw Letitia taking in money from Molly's show. They saw you guys working with Letitia, you guys working with Molly. And I think the detectives have this feeling that all of you are helping to incite the harassment against Dre, the lies against Dre, the attacks against her, the doxing, the things that they have to protect Dre from that are legitimate threats, legitimate stalkings, legitimate drones flying over their property. By the way, that's not even just a danger to Dre. It's a danger to that whole neighborhood to have drones flying around recording all these people's private property behind their privacy fences and all this garbage. People standing there holding cell phones. I think the police, the detectives, most likely aren't happy with you and Molly and Wynette and Letitia because you're causing them more work. You're inciting. You're standing here doing an interview with Molly, for God's sakes, when it would take you minutes of information or minutes of research to realize that she is the reason that the police are having to deal with all of this extra stuff.
I'm thinking about how can I go about filing a missing person report, see if that'll work. That should.
Why do you want to file? How is it that I know where Marvon is, but they don't? You know, at some point, you have to ask yourself whether they're lying. And it looks like Navy's here. Navy, what's up, dude? You ready to watch this?
Home, bro. Yeah, I'm ready to watch it.
Oh, shit. Let me turn you up. Britt says Leslie Bass involved another sketch fundraiser. Wow, feels like 2019. Almost nostalgic if LB and MGL wasn't so gross. Well, she is involved in this fundraiser, definitely. To what extent, only she knows. We have video recordings of her and her public involvement. But, you know, also, we have the thing that I think really is, and thank you for the super chat and great opinion, great points to make. I agree with you completely. And you have to at some point start asking yourself whether it is the negligence of Leslie lying and not following evidence and being so selfishly concerned with her views, her money, her being positively affected by what's going on. You got to ask yourself if that's why Leslie does this, or if she's actually helping Molly and Letitia. There's no way to know. There is no way to know. And at some point, Leslie will say that it's defamation for you to consider that she was doing more than just sitting on the stream, you know, agreeing with everything and spreading everything and all that. But it's not. It's not defamation to consider that, because Molly and Marvon Sr. are sitting here lying to everybody still. They're sitting here BSing us, pushing this garbage on us. And again, it doesn't matter. They don't care about us. They care about the people that are watching that believe them. They care about the people that will actually give money. And that's a motivator for lies, whether or not it's their primary motivation. I don't think it's Marvon Sr.'s, but I think it's hers. I think it's just more using this family. But you know what? I'm rambling, which I will do live while I react to this stuff. I'm just warning you. But let's keep going.
The next step, so what? They put out that he passed, and then again they said that he ain't. So.
No. Molly put out that he passed. Molly Golightly put out that he passed. We have the recordings. We've shown them. I do think you're being lied to, Marvon Sr., but you need to stop working with the people that exploited your son and are continuing to exploit your son because you're standing next to her. You're standing with her. She is the one that put out the death hoax. Leslie and her are the ones that propagated it, who refused to look at the evidence on it and kept spreading it until people called you up and told you that he'd passed, which is disgusting. It's a real world consequence to their hoaxes and their lies. By the
Lauren
way,
T says check PayPal.
oh, will do, Lauren. Thank you. Thank you. Dear Lord, thank you, because I haven't had a Red Bull in 2 days. No, thank you. Thank you. I'll stop making the damn Red Bull jokes. And actually, I'm not going to. I like making the Red Bull jokes, damn it. Thank you, Lauren. You're amazing. All of you are. Any support that comes in, thank you. Appreciate you very much. Though, back to what I was saying here. It is a real world consequence from... It's not even them refusing to fact check, because we are doing all of it for them. We came in as debunkers, as commentators, as people that give an opinion, but also fact check what's going on and give you all of it so that you can make up your mind, right? And we also give them a benefit through what we do. So they could easily see the facts are already compiled. They're already pulled together. They're already focused on through our content. And therefore, it's not hard for them to find the facts, is the point I'm making. It's not work. They don't have to be good at anything. They don't even have to do anything. So, Molly, this is pure manipulation. Plain and simple. This is pure manipulation. This is pure... taking advantage of Marvon Jr. and Sr. This is her recording herself doing it and then being brazen enough to put it out. She's uncomfortable here, very uncomfortable, as you can tell, because she knows about all of us. She knows the people that are looking at her skeptically and that are looking at her as a bad person for what she's doing are 95, 98% of the entire community. And she's only got a very small amount of people that look at her as doing anything positive. And that's why there's that much of a concern that she has to put the act on for that small group of people so she can keep moving forward with her YouTube career. But the amount of people now that know the truth so vastly outweighs the people that are caught up in the lie that now we're here.
So they're saying, is he dead or is he alive? So we don't know.
How many times have you called Andrea?
Andrea will never speak to you again. One more time. Andrea is never going to speak to Marvon Sr., Wynette, Letitia, Molly, or anyone from that little group ever again. You are entitled. You are disrespectful. You're nasty. And Molly, you're pure on evil for still doing this. She doesn't owe you anything. Who are you? Who are you that Andrea has to answer her phone and respond to you? Who is Marvon Sr.? Who in the hell is Wynette? Who is Letitia? They are people who went out, lied on her, spread these conspiracies, these accusations at Dre to make her and the children's life harder during the tragedy. Then they profited by sharing their pay links, thousands upon thousands of dollars off of the lies they told. And you think she's going to answer the phone? This is the kind of person who thinks that they're the victim of an assault or the victim of some horrible crime should have to answer the phone to their assaulter, to the perpetrator. The true crime community at work right in front of you guys.
Plenty of times. She never returned a call.
She won't either. Good. I'm glad. In fact, I admire the fact that she is standing up for her family, herself, and her kids enough to ignore your phone calls, ignore Molly's phone calls, ignore Letitia's phone calls. I see her as a stronger person for that. I see you all as weak, nasty people for thinking you get to do what you did online over a period of months to her, where Molly is still spreading this shit daily, attacking her, lying on her daily. I don't know if it was right before. No, it would have been right after she did this interview. Right after she interviews Marvon Sr., now, right before this, she spread the death hoax, as I proved to you with video clips. Right after she did the interview, she accused Dre of murmuring her 3 kids with a knife. Multiple times, she tried to incite welfare checks on the children and on Dre. She's harassing and stalking Dre, literally admitting to it repeatedly, right? But she's just going to answer the phone. What is she going to say? She's going to answer the phone and talk about how disgusting you guys are for monetizing his death, lying and monetizing about his death. Really? You think she wants to talk to people that are doing this to her?
Neither text.
What about Miss Wynette?
She called her plenty of times too when I'm away.
Yep.
I wouldn't even think Dre probably doesn't even have the same phone number. I don't even believe Dre has the same number. Once that number gets out, do you really think Dre's going to keep the same phone number? You know? And if they block you, if they block a number, it tells you when you try to call it. And so I don't believe them. I don't believe that they're calling her. I don't believe that. I believe if they are calling the number they had for Dre in the beginning, that it's going to a new person, or that it's going to boo-doo-doo, this number is no longer in service, or it's saying this call cannot be completed because this person has blocked your number or something. Those things are happening when you call. There is no way in Ever11, there's no way that she just is letting it ring and go to voicemail. There is no way. There's no way.
And what about...
Jennifer says to check PayPal. Will do, Navy. And thank you guys. It's really appreciated right now. It's been one of those kind of months. So thank you so much.
The night before last, she called 10 times in a row.
Yeah, and she called a day and text.
You are admitting to calling this woman 10 times in a row, and you wonder why she's not answering the damn phone. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Lauren. You guys are awesome. You're admitting 10 times in a freaking row at night, and you're wondering, and you don't think that this is like new or something. Don't think it's new if they are telling the truth.
Yep.
So you guys are harassers. You're harassing Dre just as bad as Molly is. Got it. Thank you for letting us know. It's good that we know this about you.
Letitia, I know, is absolutely beside herself.
You just said Letitia, and this is before this. You said Letitia wasn't answering her phone and had blocked you. How do you know that she's beside herself? And are you going to say why? I want to know why, because I know why she's beside herself, and it has nothing to do with any of this. It has to do with the fact she's got court in the beginning of December. Anyone would be, by the way, because you're the one that put her there, Molly.
And now she's even more confused.
You're just perpetually lying. You can look at anything else Molly has said about Letitia around this, because this was 8 days ago. You can look at anything she said around that time about Letitia and know that Molly's just lying to Marvon Sr. on camera.
Yes. Oh, that was Matt right there.
Oh, this is Miss Wynette. Here she comes. Uh-oh.
Yes, I talked to Tisha today and let her know because she was upset. Yes.
You talked to Letitia today and you let her know.
When I told her and sent her the clip, but they said the clip that I sent, the news clip, it was a...
Lauren says, if these people are beside themselves because they think Vaughn passed away, they should blame Molly for lying to them. And you have to ask yourself, Marvon just might not know. But I don't believe that's either because Wynette is lying to him, Wynette and Molly are lying to him, or he's lying to us. One of these things is happening. You feel me? Because the point is, any of us have seen how easy it is. You just go to, you search any of these things and my channel comes up with the recent video. So at any point, they can watch our video and see that Molly started the hoax. You really think that some person in their family hasn't seen the evidence that Molly started the hoax and let Wynette know? You're going to tell me that you think with this large family that's constantly posting on social media, constantly watching YouTube, constantly posting on Facebook, constantly going in. We know that Letitia goes into groups where they literally criticize her and Molly and goes in there and reads all of it. And you're going to tell us that they don't know that Molly started the hoax. So you know what this tells me? This makes me think that it was way more people than just Molly, LB, and Justin that were involved in the death hoax. It tells me that, I mean, you have to ask yourself how do they want us to believe they just stopped looking at everything? They stopped hearing everything? I don't believe it at all. And if I don't believe that they stopped looking at everything, then I can't believe that they really do, they really have some, issue with knowing about Molly starting the hoax perpetuating the hoax, pushing the hoax, LB helping it, right?
A hoax, so I'm glad I told her today that they said it was a hoax, so she could probably feel a little relieved.
And see this, it's like a pity thing. You told Letitia that it was a hoax when immediately it was debunked. It took you days to figure out. I just can't fathom it. I can't. I can't. I fucking can't. Because you know what I would do? I wouldn't be able to stop myself from going and looking at all the channels that talk about this stuff when I heard that this had happened. Since I can't go click on a video from Dre and I can't call her, I would have went and looked at what people are saying and what evidence is out there. So I know they saw our videos from the very beginning showing that it came from Molly.
A lot relieved because she was very upset.
Okay, so right now, the only person that legit knows is one person, right?
Andrea, his wife.
And she has not reached out to anyone.
And she's not going to. She shouldn't. Would you talk to them if you were Andrea Navy? Did you give them a second of your time after what they did?
No, hell no. Especially after they've done all this online crap and then trying to raise money with his name and all stuff. No, hell no.
What about the fact that Drea knows that Letitia is being summoned by the police and hasn't gone in, sat down with their lawyer that she supposedly hired and shown them the evidence that she didn't run off with the money? What about the fact that you're really going to call all of you guys when, you know, they know that the detective... How do we know that the detectives aren't telling Dre not to communicate with you guys, by the way? Because, I mean, I'm sure they are. In any other situation, that would be happening because you all are responsible for the fundraising and all the money that was taken.
Now there are...
Army wife says, hell no. Exactly. None of us would. None of us would. We don't talk to people that attempt to abuse us and lie about us and are and just show no respect at all for us. We don't expect people to show respect. We just don't expect them to disrespect us all the time. And you're supposed to put up a barrier with those kind of people. You have to put up a barrier. It's one of the first things they teach you when you go into therapy. And I know this because I had to start therapy when I got out of Iraq, when I got medevaced. So the point is, everyone knows this. When you have people that are berating you for murmuring Marvin and starving your kids, and you find out the reason they're doing it is because of these people on the screen, plus Wynette and Letitia, are you going to continue talking to them and being nice to them and communicating and telling them things? I would never speak to you again. I would never. 10 years from now, I wouldn't speak to you. If Marvin came out of the coma and I was Dre, and Marvin came out of the coma 10 years from now, there's a reunion, I'm not going. Why not? Says Marvin to me, Dre, and I say, because they lied about me starving my kids. They made money off of your coma in the huge amounts and ran off with it. And they used the lies to make the money. They lied about me so they could make this money off of my social media following. No, I'm not going to go there and be further abused, further lied about. Why? What the fuck?
Other people that are involved. And I'm getting screenshots of different people that do know Andrea, and she's ignoring them as well. Come on over here, Miss Wynette.
Well, no shit. They should. Thankfully, Andrea is smart enough to start ignoring the people that take their interactions with her, screenshot them, and send them to her abusers. So good. I'm glad that Dre's that smart. Whether Dre is the nicest person in the world or the worst person ever, it doesn't matter. She shouldn't be communicating with you guys. And at least after the court starts with Letitia, there will be a lot more evidence out there that'll change the mind of the people that you're lying to. You know? Because they're playing off of the fact that Letitia hasn't gone to court yet. that there's no furthering of this investigation publicly. That's what court will do for the fraud raiser and for the things they did and lied about. And then also, you do know, Molly, that if Dre is suing you, she is going to wait until Letitia goes to court, gain the information from that, what they find out, and what the detectives release, and take you to court with it, right? And I'm sure that's going to help everybody judge their opinion on what has happened also, if she chooses to do it. Because again, she may choose not to.
Say hello. Just come on over. I just want you to say how many times did...
Why are you acting like... Why are you like, say hello? Speak. Yeah, it's like, can't you act like they're human beings, for God's sake? Hello, the name of this person. Have some manners. Hey, come on, I want to introduce you to the people on the camera. Can't you act like a respectable human being? Because you're acting like you're giving commands to them.
Did you reach out, for real, to Miss Andrea, respectively?
Respectively. Are you? This is why people say what they said that we addressed yesterday about you, Molly. Respectively.
And she is ignoring you. She's ignoring everything. How nice have you been to her?
How nice have you been to her? None, not at all. You're talking to Wynette, and again, Wynette is different than Marvon Sr. Wynette has been one of the people that have spread the lies about Andrea the most. She profited off of the coma next to Letitia the most. She profited off of the lies that you guys spread next to Letitia the most. That's not nice. I'm going to say that you're starving your kids, even though there are years of evidence on video that shows the opposite. That's nice. I'm going to accuse you of murmur. That's nice. I'm going to stop beating this horse.
A lot. So nothing works? Nothing.
This is just comical at this point.
Apparently not. We just...
Can't even look at Molly because she looks like she's about to rip your face off. Like she got angry for a minute there. You want to, here, look at Molly's face. Imagine that you're staring at Molly's face while she says this to you, and then watch for her to get mad.
Nothing.
Watch. See that? That is the psychopath look. That's the look of, I'm about to attack both of you. Like she looks scary.
Apparently not. We just...
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to look her in the face either, Wynette.
Concerned about...
You're not just concerned about the son. You have to be honest. You were concerned about spreading lies about Dre. You were concerned about accusing her of things. You were concerned about sharing a pay link while you spread those lies. Okay? Now, I'll give you guys the props of you actually went down, showed evidence you went down. You wanted to stay there longer. Unlike Letitia, who showed no evidence, who we don't even know if she visited him for more than like a few minutes based on what she said, and has only admitted to trying to see him twice. So while she had tens of thousands of dollars she could have used to stay right next to the hospital and see him every day. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys, that's why I'm giving you guys a little bit of charity and I'm giving you props here. But don't act like you were nice. Now I know when that's not saying she was nice, that's Molly saying it. So
where's your head right now? What are you thinking?
well, I'll tell you where any sane person would be. Oh, I already said it.
All over the place. Because Letitia came back. She came back to Savannah.
No, she didn't. What are you talking about? Again, you're spreading things that Letitia herself doesn't even say. Like Letitia said that she went to Savannah a second time, maybe one time on live stream. No, it was in a damn group. It was in a DM. I don't know. See, it's been a couple months, so, you know, I'd have to go look. But I swear, I'm remembering that Letitia had only said that she even tried to go to Savannah the second time in a group. And it didn't comport with reality. She had told some people she'd never went. She had told some people that she was just getting home while she was telling other people that she was still there. So we don't believe Letitia. You do, I guess, but you don't know the truth. You know what Letitia told you.
They went out of town to celebrate the granddaughters or the niece.
Today's his birthday.
Yes.
Yes, today is his
Today.
See, now, Molly, you're not even making sense. They literally, what you just said now has been debunked by Letitia and
Today's Marvan's
Marvon.
birthday.
Today's the 5th.
Yeah, we're yes, today's Marvan's birthday.
We're going, yes, today's Marvon's
That's why we're
birthday.
going out to celebrate, to eat crab.
Why are you guys going to celebrate Marvon's birthday without him, or without going to him, or without him? I mean, is it just performative, Molly, that you're broadcasting this? Or, I mean, do you really think they want to go out and do this? Or, like, I wouldn't want to if I was them. I wouldn't want to entertain you for a second, but let's pretend that I was believing your lies. I still wouldn't want to go with you because it's not. I just. Who are you? Again.
Something that Marvon loves to eat.
So you're going to eat crabs knowing he can't to celebrate. Oh my God.
Marvon would have loved to have crab with his real family.
With his real family, even though we have loads of videos saying that his real family is Dre and the kids. You just said that Marvon doesn't love Dre and his kids, or he wouldn't have done what he did. We played that clip yesterday. Disgusting. And now you're saying that his real family is the family that is. So Molly thinks that your real family is your blood family. It's not the family you live with or see or spend time with. Okay. Thanks for saying that, Molly. I vehemently disagree with you there. But I do, you did say it.
In Savannah, that's something that he loves. Dre was seen yesterday by his neighbor, and Andrea was seen by the neighbors.
So you're stalking Dre. Yeah. Thanks for backing me up. You're stalking poor Dre. It's like, you went viral about Dre. So now you stalk Dre. Because if you have anything you can say or do that involves Dre or Marvon's family, you can get some views and clicks. Okay.
Yesterday.
Because you don't care about him. You don't like him. You don't respect him. You're not nice to him. You don't respectfully commentate on them, respectfully report on them. You're not honest about them.
Cleaning out the patio and the trailer thing yesterday. Yeah.
Make sure that this is given to the detectives. They need to know that Molly has spies reporting and watching Dre, for God's sake. And this is why people don't become social media influencers. I hate that word. This is why people are turned off from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter to try to make it their job. Because you got people like Molly that set up literal spies around you. Just like, it's so desperate. She doesn't even ask herself if there's any information that she can gain from watching Dre's private life. There's no privacy. There's no respect. She's worse than paparazzi. Paparazzi will go and stand outside of your house with a camera. Molly employs people to watch you and pretend that they're not watching you. Like, the people watching for Molly don't. Dre can't tell that they're watching unless maybe they're peeking out their window and she sees them and goes, I wonder if they're spying on me for Molly. I mean, I doubt that's happening. So, you're a stalker, you're desperate, you creep these people, you're creeping them, but they're letting you. I still don't understand why, unless you're paying them. Honestly, I'm saying if I were them, the only thing that could make me go out and talk to you is if you had a couple G's in your hand. That's it. I'm not even going to do it for a hundo. I'm serious.
Yes, the RV. That's all I know. So the thing is
You're watching Dre. Now listen to this shit. More than you visited Marvon. You're doing more work to spy on Dre than Letitia did to see Marvon, and it's gross.
I want to go there. I want to go out to Yuma, Arizona.
Why? Who are you? Why do you want to stalk her? If you know she doesn't want to see you, why do you want to force it? Navy, help me out here. What is wrong with this woman?
She is desperate, and I mean desperate for attention. All right. Like she is not getting it at home or somewhere else. I don't know. But the thing is that one thing we know about her is that she craves this reality TV lifestyle. And so if they won't pick her up, she'll create it herself. And the way she does that is by purposely creating drama where it doesn't need to be, throwing herself in the middle of it, and then crying victim when people come at her.
Okay,
But she craves this attention.
Yeah, well, fathom this, okay? Like, picture this. You and I are covering a story, and we want to interview someone. Interview the person, and we find out not just that that person doesn't want to talk to us, but that they vehemently don't want to talk to us. They don't like us. They're against us. Would there be, what would be any motivation to force it without us being the bully, being the stalker, being creepy? I mean, she has to at least know that she is those things acting like this. She can't say she's not those things.
Correct. Yeah. And there's no reason, like if someone says that they don't want to, talk to you or be interviewed by you for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. You have no right to force yourself upon them, period.
It's the definition of desperation and being desperate and wanting attention and harassment and stalking. This is the definition of those things. She doesn't have a defense. She has no way to be able to, defend herself from the claim that that's what she's doing. Fucking A, man.
Well, and she's also, and it's delusional. Like she's delusional. The reason I say that is because she makes these claims. Now, whether or not she actually believes this, but this is what she says, is that I'm doing this for justice. Well, if you want to do this for justice, then go become a cop. Go do something else. Like what you're doing, become an actual journalist. But you can't because you like to spout lie.
Well, justice alone is predicated on the fact of you having permission, not forcing it, doing it the right way. Justice doesn't, it's not just a word. It's like there's more than that to it. So,
Because I don't know.
I want to go out there, but I don't know where to go or where to
Well,
start.
I think
you want to go out. Oh, listen, I can almost forgive Marvon Sr. I can believe him that he wants to go to his son. But then again, this is why we treat our families' wives with respect, and we don't make money off of a coma, and we don't hang out with the harasser of our son's wife. We don't give her money and give her content and give her attention, because it's literally it's via, like, Dre has to forgive you two in order to talk to you. And that's without you even realizing you've done anything disrespectful, without realizing you've done anything wrong, without you realizing that you are enabling all of this shit she's doing. I mean, wouldn't you, if you cared about Marvon and Dre at all, if you cared about their family, if you cared about them to any degree, make sure you're not doing those things flippantly with the people you're interacting with. And you have no advice, you have no one to reach out to. You can't like learn these things. You can't figure these things out about the internet. I mean, people know these things. People aren't dumb. You have to know that you're going to be inundated with desperate people, like people that just want to make money off your son and just want to turn the story into whatever they can. You have to know that because he's married to someone with almost 1 million followers that has a business online with broadcasting their lives, that you're going to be approached by these people, and yet you have no realization of this. I just can't fathom it.
I think that I could help if I come. I really do. I think that.
Let's hear how you can help if you go stalk Dre, Molly. Let's hear it.
It might have to take me, and
I know the last time we went out there, the police was giving no information.
Okay, now hold the front door. It might have to take you going, and then you got cut off, Molly. So you think even though Dre doesn't want to see you, doesn't want to talk to you, doesn't want to acknowledge your existence, hates your guts, thinks you're disgusting, thinks you're desperate, you think that you could force Dre, and you're not going to do it in some illegal way? So, like, again, because you're saying you want justice, therefore you can't do it in an illegal way. How? The only way you could do it is by kidnapping her ass and forcing her to do it. You'd have to take her at gunpoint in order to get her to do anything. She's not going to do it. You already admitted this.
They said that she's like the power of attorney because she is married to him. So
I'm tired.
yeah, whatever she say goes.
Yeah? Really?
Yeah. Wynette didn't want to be on camera, Molly. So that tells us Wynette didn't even know that you were showing up and doing this. The family that you're sitting there doing this to didn't even know, and she doesn't want you to do this. She doesn't want to be a part of it. She just said it out loud.
So whatever she says. So right now, as far as legalities go, that's one thing, but
Legalities say you have no power. Marvon Sr. has no power. Letitia has no power. Now, they all know this, that they have no power. We know that they have no power. They've admitted they have no power, and it's not because they're married. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't, not because Dre's magic either. It's because of the legal decisions that Marvon Sr. and Letitia made as adults, which I'm not going to go into out of respect for that whole unit, but I will say that's it. They made decisions. They signed papers. They have no power to weigh in legally through the police, through lawyers, on anything going on. It's another thing that makes what Letitia did a massive fraud raiser. It's another thing that makes what Marvon Sr. and Wynette did by allowing Molly to collect money for them very suspicious, very not right. And Molly herself teaming up with, it's almost like she's trying to work her way into the only angle she can get, because due to these two people signing these papers and doing what they've done, no judgment, you know, I have no clue what the circumstances were. I can only go by third-hand information, but we do know that because they've done that, Molly sees them as the only way that she can get in and be personally involved in this, and she takes it immediately.
emotionally as his father.
Emotionally as his father. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear where she goes. I have seen this woman sit on a call, a video call with Marvon Sr. and take a rope and put it around her neck and hold it up and ask him how does he feel about Marvon hanging himself. I've seen this clip. So Molly is also abusing Marvon Sr., harassing him, whether he understands it or not. In fact, I don't even know if Molly understands it or not.
I wonder if she's going to ask him if he thinks that his son doesn't love him, because that's her claim, right? Only people that do that kind of stuff don't love their families, right?
No, she should if she actually said it for any type of logical reason, but because she was saying it to be mean to Dre, she doesn't feel that way about Marvon and Letitia and Wynette. She thinks, even though what she said about Dre and about Marvon does apply to Marvon Sr., Wynette, and Letitia, somehow in Molly's logic, it only applies to Dre.
Can you believe that she doesn't have it in her?
Have it in her? Again, how is it Dre's fault that you all did this? You still can't even take responsibility for what you actually broadcasted yourself doing, for God's sakes. Literally. It's Dre's fault that we ran the fraud raiser. It's Dre's fault that we lied on her and accused her of these crimes. It's Dre's fault she chose to stop communicating with us. It's not because of our behavior. It's not because of how we treated her. It's not because of what we said about her. It's not because we made tens of thousands of dollars off of her name and then bragged about it. No, that's Dre. Dre should be an adult enough to allow us to literally disrespect and abuse her as much as we want.
What did you tell Justin today? Didn't you say that a woman that you know told you that he had passed around the 20th of last month? Yeah. Can you tell us about that?
But see, this is what LB was putting out. LB was saying this herself. So how do you know that it didn't come from LB saying it on her stream, and this woman that he knows didn't hear it because of LB saying it and it getting to her, or because the person watches LB's show? You see, this is why your guys' content is so disrespectful and so just nasty. You have real world consequences with the lies you tell. It's not even your reporting. It's not that you're talking about the subject. It's the lies you tell. Well, you know, there's this rumor that he passed on the 20th and yada, yada. LB said this. So it's just as possible that LB's rumor ricocheted over to Marvon Sr. yesterday than it is. Because remember, LB said this at the beginning of the death hoax. They just said that the death hoax had already happened and already been debunked. And now they know that it was a hoax. That's how they started the interview. That proves that what LB said would have been before he would have been told this by this person. So I'm sorry, no, it doesn't work that way. Your excuse falls flat on its face. And where did LB start her rhetoric and her lies? Because she's a pathological liar about the situation when she heard that you had said that he passed away. So we don't even know if LB made this up. I believe LB made it up. I believe LB was just priming her audience like usual. She does it all the time. By the way, update, update. LB, as you know, won't respond to my offer to meet me physically with her husband, if she'd like, at the VA Medical Center in Columbus, Ohio, so she can sit down with a representative and find out that I am telling the truth about everything I've ever said about my military career, as backed up by the DD-214 on my Twitter, as backed up by the pictures that I've shown and everything else. So because she won't respond to meeting me, I've offered to do a Zoom call with the DAV and the Department of the Disabled American Veterans and LB. So me, the rep, LB, I will allow her to publicly search for that DAV rep to see that that DAV rep is, in fact, a DAV rep, and then call that DAV rep on her phone while connected to Zoom so she can see that the same person picks up the phone. She can do whatever else she wants. They'll show, if she wants that DAV rep to show her the ID of the DAV rep, whatever she wants, so that she can confirm she's talking to a representative of the Disabled American Veterans. And they'll sit there and tell her that I deployed, I was medevaced, I was honorably discharged, I get paid every month, everything I've ever told you about it. So she still won't respond. She's still too lazy and too much of a pathological liar to do a Zoom call to find out the truth. Now, this is after telling everybody that I'm lying about being a veteran and vet bashing me multiple times publicly and many times behind the scenes. So just to keep you updated, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that what she said.
Though I'm still waiting, LB, the offer's still open. Let's do a Zoom call with the DAV. I will physically go there and go into the office and be there with the rep. We will confirm the rep's identity multiple ways and publicly, and then you can ask them whatever you want about my military service, about what I've told you about my military service. There is really no excuses to not do the Zoom call. It's about as simple a solution as possible, but she doesn't want to have to apologize, let's face it, because she's a vet basher and a pathological liar. And she doesn't just do it to me. She's done it to almost every YouTuber she gets mad at, almost every viewer or person that she gets mad at. She's just a nasty, spoiled little person. A fact.
So everything's hearsay right now, and it's no facts.
We have all the facts. We've got your facts. So how is it that we can present so many facts and show you so many things that once a little bit of time goes by, gets confirmed to be true, which is everything we've shown you about this story? Yet you, someone that is communicating with the family and supposedly deserves to make all this money and all this attention off of this story, which we're not even trying to make ourselves. Why do you deserve it? Why aren't you good enough? Why can't you fact check? Why can't you do your job? Why can't you do what you're saying you're going to do? You say you're going to get justice. You can't even fact check this stuff. How do you get justice when you can't even fact check anything? How do you get justice for anyone? And then God forbid the little boy you're talking about today that's missing. another missing little boy that you're talking about that you're not going to fact check, you're going to lie about, you're going to use in any way you can to make as much money as possible, just like Shannon Watts, just like Quentin, just like every other story you've covered. You exploit these people. You don't fact check. You say anything you have to say to get as much money and make as much cash as possible. And while doing it, you harass the victims of the story. All of it with recorded video evidence that you constantly delete, hoping no one records.
And I feel terrible for hearing that he died.
She feels terrible for hearing that he died. And then look at the face she makes. We got to look at this face, y'all. I wish I had the sound effect. Dun 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 dun. Bing. I don't know if it's Wheel of Fortune or The Price is Right. Which one is it, peeps? You feel horrible. Duh. I feel so horrible. It's like, what is your face doing? Is it reacting to the lie you're telling? Is that lie so powerful that it caused you to literally look like you just got hit by a flying bird or something? Like, what is going on? What happened here? The lie is so powerful. It's like when your parents tell you when you're younger, don't make that silly face because your face is going to get stuck doing it. And you're like, nuh-uh, mom. Oh no, I can't stop making the funny face, which never happens, of course. But for Molly, it happens. I can't believe it. And I feel terrible for hearing that he died. Price is Right. Thank you. Pew, 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 meow.
So supposedly, she said in her little fan club, slay with Dre.
You're lying. Now, the problem is, by the time you did this interview, why are you looking at him like he's going to jump in and attack his son's wife with you? Like, why are you looking at him like, hey, I'm about to make fun of Dre. Let's make fun of Dre together. She didn't say this in Slay with Dre. She did not say it. It never happened. This is what you made up to try and validate the fact that you started the death hoax. Hold on. I just started a death hoax. Holy shit, look at my chat. I know. I'll say that there was a post in the Slay with Dre group. There wasn't. There has not been. It has not happened. That is not true. We checked. It's almost like Marvon's not going to laugh with you. He's not going to roll his eyes with you. He's going to look down at the ground because he doesn't want his son to wake up and then see a clip where he's making fun of his son's wife and then never talk to him again. My father would never do this. I don't know anyone's father. I don't know anyone that would do this and act like this towards a family member. Their kid's partner, their kid's wife or husband. I don't know anyone that would act like this. Why are you disrespecting his family member? Why are you disrespecting Dre like this in front of him? And how is Marvon Sr. not have a backbone enough to tell her to stop? The Liver King. Ethan Klein interviewed the Liver King, and Ethan asked a very disrespectful question about the Liver King's wife. The Liver King literally stopped, looked at him and said, never talk about my wife like that again. Okay? Why can't Marvon Sr. do that? It's a derp face. It is. Hold on. I want to show you this clip. I want to show you what Marvon Sr. should have did. I want to show you what Marvon Sr. should have just did. Liver King almost takes a swing at Ethan. Let me find it here.
Cold thermal pressures, right? If you like a shield, little things that also. But I just said I
have any.
Oh, the 100% the risk. So this is. There's other things. That's what that is.
Remove.
That's just basic stuff.
No, but there's no heat coming off.
This is not gonna. It's only 7 minutes. I'm almost there.
I got this.
What's the purpose?
Yeah, but I don't think cell phones do not enough. But I'm saying
this is all when you're sleeping at night. I'm not saying go that far. Celebrate where you got to figure out what category, what higher than.
It's gonna come for people engaged.
It's a legitimate.
Our ancestors, they adapt
because
with one.
You said that I put all I've and I
eat,
but how to do it and live in a better mood, and then and then the small like
I'm
that.
excited.
Watch him put it at the end of this.
Like main
Where the fuck was it? Okay, here we go.
I understand.
No, this is too long. Here we go. Here we go. This
Liver
is a
King.
short. Okay.
Now, do you have to have sex in a certain position because you're so big, and sometimes fat guys have a
Listen to what Liver King says to Ethan Klein.
the problem. They have to go into a certain position because I mean you're massive, right? So and also I don't know how well endowed you are, but
You're horrible at this, Ethan.
like, what's the situation with your what position do you?
Okay, so Ethan just asked.
Why would you ask this question?
I know, an insanely disrespectful question that involves Liver King's wife. Okay, so listen to what Liver King says.
Have to go in a position, or are you guys fully flexible? Because you're both very muscular.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Never talk about my wife in this.
Never talk about my wife in this context. Never talk about my wife in this context.
Liver King.
Never talk about my wife in this context, okay? And I know that's a little different because that is the Liver King's wife, and Ethan's not directly talking about her, though. He's saying, like, he's trying to frame the question to Liver King himself without bringing the wife up, but because it involves it. So it's like, if Molly is literally going to make fun of Marvon's son's wife, why can't Marvon Sr. defend her to the slightest degree? Like, listen, she's not here. My son's in a coma. I'm not going to insult his wife. Please stop insulting it. I don't want my son to wake up and see this. He will hate me if I join in on this. He will probably hate me for not attacking you verbally for doing this alone, right? Nothing, right? Let's see.
This girl is a moron.
A moron. So Molly even charges it to the next level.
But this is
And then Molly does this thing again where she like literally like her central processing unit just gives out. She just can't think.
thing. If she's got a fan club, why aren't these women talking?
What? She does have a fan club. It's huge. They all hate you. They all hate Marvon Sr., Wynette, Letitia. They think you're horrible, disgusting people. You'd think that Dre, in the beginning, when she went quiet, probably told them, yo, you're going to have to help me out, fan club. You're going to have to not talk publicly until I come back. And they probably are so dedicated that they're not.
Are you telling me she's a cult leader? That she's got all these girls that are willing to keep?
If she's a cult leader, she's abandoned her cult. She's not talking to him for literally months and months and months. Worst cult leader ever.
A secret like that from his own family?
A secret? You're not his family. That's what Marvon said. He didn't like the way he was treated as a kid. Then he was taken away and he never saw him again. He doesn't consider them his family because of what they did to him. And yet you're trying to force Dre to make these decisions while Marvon is in a coma. This is why you should be asking Letitia, I won't say anything about Marvon Sr., why she didn't try to go down there and do something more before all of this happened. You should have like maybe thought about apologizing for stealing money from Marvon and Dre. By the way, when you steal money from Marvon and Dre, isn't that a little disrespectful? Like, isn't it a little bit messed up? I'm not going to say that Letitia intended to do that, but she definitely intended to make them keep paying. So, you feel me?
What kind of friend she got?
Now, listen to Wynette. Wynette is backing Molly up. Wynette, yeah, what kind of friends she got? She's gossiping. She's talking trash on Dre. Marvon Sr. hasn't. I hope he doesn't join in. I hope he doesn't. I don't know if he's going to, but I hope he doesn't.
I mean, where's the humanity in that?
The humanity. Where's the humanity in any of the things you guys did? I was going to repeat it again, but I know I'm getting boring. So where's the humanity in what you did?
If the mother's bawling her eyes out, I mean,
She's not.
I heard you crying.
The mother, Letitia, went more Letitia had more of a reaction when the cops started looking into this than she did when this all started.
Tisha called us about wailing, and I started crying because I was driving.
Now, listen, they're talking about the death hoax. They're talking about the hoax, okay, that Molly perpetrated. Molly put it out. Molly did it. And now she's standing here hearing that she made Letitia bawl and wail and cry. She made Wynette bawl and wail and cry. Got me?
It's just an emotion.
You know, I'm starting to think that Molly just showed up. You know? There's evidence to believe it. Wynette showed up and is like, oh, hi. And then says, I don't even want to be on camera, and jumps off the camera, right? Which she would have never went on camera in the first place if she would have known they were there, obviously. That's what that shows. And Molly just showing up, maybe everyone stopped talking to Molly, and so she just popped in. I don't know. Lauren says, remember, these people supposedly just found out that their stepson has passed away. This is how Molly takes to grieving parents. Yeah, but they also have accepted the fact that it was a hoax. Or maybe, I don't want to say right before the interview, because it probably happened like 12 hours before the interview, or 24 hours before the interview, or a day and a half. But this is like, so the hoax, the death hoax is perpetrated, right? Molly, LB, all of them push it and push it. The website finds out and retracts it and puts out that it's an actual hoax. So they stop spreading the misinformation of the death hoax, whether the police, whether it was a lawyer contacted them, who knows. Then it's maybe after the website gets changed, a day or so passes where Wynette and Letitia and Marvon Sr. find out that it was a hoax, because that's what kind of like went against ELLE BEE Leslie Bass and Molly's lies of the death hoax. Then right around the time where people are starting to accept the fact that it's a death hoax, that's when Molly shows up to interview them. So you're right in thinking that. They could have thought that until right before Molly showed up, or it could have been a day before. Though, in the very least, you know, they did, you're right, they just changed from thinking he's passed into the relief of finding out that it was a hoax. So yeah, you are correct. I'm just trying to map it out in my head here, but you're right.
Do you feel like she's playing games with you?
The woman who's not saying anything, not talking to anyone, minding her business, taking care of Marvon Jr., the woman who is minding her family is playing games with you guys. It's not the other way around, because you just asking these questions opens it up for us to look at what you're doing and ask the same question. And I'm sorry, but I think you're the one playing games. I think the people that stalk her, the people that lie about her, the people that spread death hoaxes, I mean, I could, you know, boringly repeat everything again, so I won't. Those are the ones playing games. Well, you couldn't do it, Marvon Sr. You just couldn't do it. I don't know if Marvon Sr. is caught up by the fact that he's talking to a YouTuber. I don't know if he doesn't spend much time on YouTube or social media or the internet. I don't know what the conditions are with him, but this is a mistake. This is a mistake because, you know, it really explains a lot about what happened, knowing that you guys are so evil and so nasty towards Dre. It didn't just start here. You guys didn't just go from 0 to 1,500 against Dre when you found out what happened to Marvon. This has been something that's been going on, most likely with every single one of Marvon's girlfriends or wives. Any person he's with, you guys most likely treat them like this. And that puts a huge wedge in the dynamic, right? Especially when you're not around him, you're not near him, you're not talking to him. And maybe if you learn how to respect Marvon a little bit, it could heal some of those bridges. This is not respecting Marvon, his decisions, his choices. And you're free to not like Dre. But the way that you respect Marvon is to talk to him about it, is to communicate with him about it, maybe alone when Dre's not there, and then hear how he receives it. Maybe he's going to tell you to shut up. Maybe he's going to say, you've never been in my life. You don't get to tell me whether Dre's good enough or not. You don't get to make these judgments when you don't know us, when you don't spend time with us, when you've never been there for us. Because this is what I would say if I was in a situation to someone that was trying to judge the person I'd married, the person I'd had kids with. But I can only guess. But I still don't understand how, if Marvon Sr. wasn't in Marvon's position, how he wouldn't be angry at the way that Marvon Sr.'s acting here, or the way that Molly's doing this. I don't think they are putting themselves in Dre or Marvon's shoes. There's no empathy. There's no caring. There's no consideration. There's no respect. I can't fathom behaving this way. Now, I can fathom them doing it because I know it happens all the time. I can't fathom behaving this way, but thinking that everyone's going to kiss your ass. Thinking that everybody's going to bow down and worship you as if you're the nicest person ever. The most respectful. You deserve to have a phone call. You deserve to have information. You deserve to have them interact with you. Why? Well, because, you know, I'm saying it. Oh, that reminds me of somebody that's standing right next to you. Because she thinks that she can literally just stand up and say something and then it's true. Now, sometimes she has to say it, gaslight, lie, gaslight to make it true. But that is her process, okay? So maybe Marvon is taking some of Molly's lead here. I wish it wasn't happening, Marvon Sr. I wish it wasn't happening, you know? And they need to hear criticism like the criticism I'm giving right now. Because what they're doing is trying to make us believe, ooh, oh, no, Cherie, please.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Please. Just more. Well, yeah, look at his face. You're right. I mean, I don't know how to judge it. He doesn't seem comfortable around her. And I want to be like, okay, fine. It's just that, and at first it seemed like he wasn't going to bash Dre, but then he kind of starts to say negative things about Dre. You know, I've been trying to be on his side through this whole thing. If you guys go back and watch any of my coverage, anytime he came up, I said, listen, he went and visited Marvon. He wasn't really participating as much. I'm not going to judge him. I'm going to leave him out of it. Unlike Letitia and Wynette. But the problem is, for whatever reason, there are a lot of clips out there where I probably shouldn't give him that benefit of the doubt. Either way, you have to think about what Marvon would want. You've got to think about what Dre would want. That is literally the definition of trying to get along with them, trying to have a relationship with them. That is how you have the relationship. You don't have the relationship by making money off their name, lying about them, spreading lies about them, you know, making Dre a murmurer and a poisoner so that you can run a fundraiser. And then the way that Marvon Sr. could have stepped up and actually defended Dre was to speak against Letitia's fundraiser, speak against Molly when she's doing extremely disrespectful things. Of course, I'm saying to myself, maybe he doesn't know that Molly just sat here and accused Dre of stabbing the kids, or didn't just accuse Dre of this or that. But then again, there is a video clip of him saying that he does believe that Dre is poisoning Marvon in the hospital. So is that because Letitia and Molly are lying to him? There's only so much charity I can give. At some point, you have to expect him, if he's going to make the judgment, to go out and see what Molly's doing, to actually watch Molly's streams. Now, Wynette lives with Marvon Sr., and she does watch everything Molly does. She's in the live chat every time Molly's live talking about this. And that's why I'm having a hard time thinking that Marvon Sr. is not involved, because how is Wynette not speaking to Marvon Sr.? How is Wynette not passing an opinion over to Marvon? How does Wynette not see Molly say them of the things she says and then go over to Marvon and say, Marvon Sr., what do you think about Molly accusing Dre of stabbing the kids? All three of them. Should we perform a welfare check? Should we think that our grandkids have been stabbed by Dre? You know, and obviously they didn't feel like it was a serious thing. SL is stealing my rocks. Sorry to interrupt, says Aussie Trisha. Well, I'm going to have to give you some more rocks. But I'm going to give me a few minutes, because you know how I do it. I always look and see how many PayPal donos came in, and then I multiply the rocks. So I want to give you guys as many rocks as I can. I'm going to share the PayPal link for a little bit, 10, 15 minutes, and then I'll give you rocks, okay? But you know what? I'm doing that thing. I'm rambling too much. I'm getting, you know, I'm getting too commentary focused. Let's put it on 1.5 times speed and blast through this and get done with this because it's just useless.
What do you think of those videos?
So Wynette thinks that Dre is laughing in her face. You know, if I was Dre, again, I would never speak to any of these people again. That's all I'm going to say, and now I'm going to let them talk.
Putting out that I've been reading. You don't think it's a coincidence at the timing?
What did she say?
I feel like she's playing laughing in our face. Yeah. What do you think of those videos that she's been putting out that I've been reading?
So hold on a minute.
What videos?
The this is Molly asking Wynette about the missing puzzle pieces videos. Wynette, I know I said I wasn't going to say anything, but you know that's the trap of me commentating on a video live. Wynette, I do this when I'm recording myself too, and I have to edit a bunch down. Wynette, you've seen Molly react to the missing puzzle pieces videos, insulting Dre the whole time, saying that that's where she said that Marvon didn't really love Dre and the kids. And you love her breaking down those videos, huh? You know, Wynette, I'm done with you. You're just as nasty as Molly. You're just as toxic as Molly. And you deserve to have Dre never speak to you again.
You don't think it's a coincidence at the timing?
The timing, Missing Puzzle Pieces has been putting those videos out the whole time. I've been talking about Missing Puzzle Pieces videos the whole time. So what are you acting like the timing? You're lying here. Missing Puzzle Pieces started uploading those videos when they found out that you guys were creating lies that went against the recorded video. And this is in the very beginning of the story, for God's sake. Okay? So the timing, what do you mean the timing? I haven't even seen some of the new stuff that Missing Puzzle Pieces has been putting up. But the point is, the majority of Missing Puzzle Pieces videos was put up during the fraud raiser.
And in the past month that she's putting all these...
No, it had not been the past month, you liar. It's been the whole time.
New videos out under a different name.
So you're literally telling... Oh my God, you're lying to Wynette and Marvon in front of us. How do you know that Missing Puzzle Pieces is Dre? How? You just admitted that she has this giant fan club. All these women, all these people. But it's Dre? So how do you know? You keep telling people this. This is not your opinion. This is you spreading a fact. She thinks if she didn't see it, it didn't exist, like an infant playing peekaboo. You're right. You're right. And this is Molly defaming Dre again. She literally has no way to prove it, but she's trying to, and she's been doing this to these people this whole time. It doesn't give any excuse to Wynette, none at all. It could give a small excuse to the way Marvon Sr. is. But she's just outwardly lying here.
Trying to prove of how happy he was with her.
Look at how mad Molly is. Look at how angry she is. For getting debunked. For being proven to be a liar. She is so pissed at those videos. And those videos are from those long live streams that we've shown you and that Puzzle Pieces has shown you that shows that Molly lied about Dre and Marvon starving the kids and how much they cared about each other and all that. And she has lost her ever-loving mind. Every time I pause it, she's making a crazy face. She is literally losing it every time I pause this shit. Wow. And I mean, what? She's like a cartoon character that's been programmed to be as crazy as humanly possible. She's like a Looney Tune. She's like a Looney Tune that trounces.
The claymation figure.
Yeah, but whichever cartoon she is, she trounces through a graveyard, harassing all of the tragic things that have happened to the people that died. Like, that's her cartoon character, you know? I mean, it's pretty funny. I mean, she's like, oh my God, what about all the videos that debunk all the lies that we told about her on my streams? What about all the video that proved that she wasn't starving the kids? What about the video that proved that she didn't do this or this or this? And then she makes the face again. I'm gonna grab a drink really quick, bro. Holy shit.
Okay, Bo. Yeah, I don't know if y'all can hear me, but I can chat. Man, these videos are crazy. It is nuts watching somebody attack somebody they've never met in their entire life. She does make the goofiest faces. Holy crap! Like she is like just a meme producer. She's just asking to be a thumbnail. That's what she does. She makes so many crazy faces. She's begging to be of multiple thumbnails on people's channels.
I gotta grab a picture of this. Hold up. Let me turn off the closed captions real quick. Okay. This is definitely my next thumbnail.
Are you alright? Dead Legato says, I PayPal'd enough to buy exactly one Red Bull because I'm a troll.
Well, thank
Smiley
you.
face.
Well, you know what? You're an awesome troll. So you're the kind of troll I like. Thank you. I appreciate you very much. Oh, man. Lord, Navy, I have such a hard time going through these videos because it's just, it's desperate, condensed evil put on display.
Yeah.
And it really does show you that when Molly has given us every single detail of what she does so that we can show the whole world that Molly, that Bullhorn Betty, that LB, that Justin, that these people on YouTube are just what they are. We can show this is what they go to families, they lie about stories, they turn family members against each other, they encourage families to bash each other, they make fun of family members. The ones that are the most closely affected by tragedies become the enemy, and then they go out and find distant family members that they can turn against them, and they build narratives and they lie and they build conspiracies and they stoke. And I mean, it's literally step by step evidence that Molly causes these issues with families and tragedies on purpose for reality, her brand of YouTube reality television.
Really?
So see how Marvon Sr. didn't feed Molly shit and Molly slowed back. But then when Net started to feed Molly shit and Molly started to go heavy.
So weird, right? He was so happy. He was so happy with me. Look how much he loves me. Really? So he.
Those videos were put out by Dre over a period of years, Molly. They were reposted by a fan of Dre's to YouTube in order to debunk you. So what you're doing is saying that Dre, and now all Dre had to do is go share timestamps from her previous live streams on Facebook and say, here's proof Molly is lying. And because Dre went dead quiet, one of her audience members did it for her. One of her supporters did it. She is a death hag, Blaze, yeah. She stirs up families of dearly departed. That's her show. Exactly. And the people that are supporting it know this. Not all of them. Not all of them. The people that are the hardcore supporters know this. Exactly. She is, you know, like a you know, like a siren, the legend of a siren that sits out on a island and gets sailors to come up, and then they end up charming them and all that, and ends up eating them or whatever. Molly's like how these legends are born. You know, you get a legend of a woman that haunts graveyards and turns families against each other through her negative satanic energy. And she does this, and then 2,000 years later, you know, that's where these people have repeated the story of Molly Golightly until it turns into a literal, you know, old folklore so somebody back in like 1100 who did this is literally who did what Molly does. It wasn't a ghost or anything, is responsible for a bunch of ghost stories, you know, 200 years later. That's Molly. She's a modern version of a lot of those kind of like old folklore stories.
He loved you so much that he would go into the back.
Oh my fucking God, you said it in front of his father. Oh my God, you said it in front of his father. You said it in front of his father. Look at him. This man is looking down thinking, that's right, if I would have been there for him, if Marvon loved me. He's thinking about what you're saying about Dre, but he's relating it to himself. It's no wonder Letitia and Wynette and Marvon Sr. bawling their eyes out because of you being around. They have a hard enough time dealing with this without you doing all this shit. You just said in front of this man that the reason Marvon did what he did is because he didn't love his family. And you're standing in front of his fucking father. Jesus Christ, Molly. How heartless are you? My God, bro. This is incredibly insane. I don't want to break another pair of headphones, so I'm not going to throw my headphones off my head, but damn. I'm really close. I'm really close.
Well, it's bad because not only is she repugnant and just evil, but she's also so ignorant. Moronic. It's crazy.
Thank you. Thank you, Aussie Trisha.
And she says things like, you know, I know there's all these videos out there. She didn't say this, but it's kind of like this. Like, I know there's all these videos out there proving the opposite of what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say anyway as if it were truth because I'm on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's just,
you know who else is vile? The people that support Molly, the YouTubers, the defenders, the people in the last few days that have made videos supporting Molly, lying about everything, trying to lie in ways that are positive for Molly. This is what you support. This is what the money supports that goes to her streams. This is what the people that dox for Molly and sit around working for Molly, like, this is what it goes towards right here. It allows her the money to go around, and it allows her the ability to go around and do this to families. And it's right on video. It's right in front of your eyes.
He loved me, really? So he loved you so much.
You're saying this in front of the father. Why wouldn't the father apply what you're saying to him? You are abusive. If you were a therapist, you'd be fired. If you were a life coach, you'd be fired. If you had any job and you said this, you'd be fired. You can't say this to people that are losing a son. Jesus Christ.
Really? So weird, right? He was so happy. He was so happy with.
He was. It's why it's so shocking that he did what he did to all of us. But we don't think that it's Dre's fault. We don't think that it's Marvon's fault. We definitely don't think it's the kid's fault. We definitely don't think that it's Letitia's fault. For fuck's sake. Now, if Dre ends up doing it, don't think we're not going to think it's your damn fault.
Look how much.
Because, you know, you're saying the most evil fucking things you can say here. If I can't fathom Dre hearing what you're saying. I can't fathom her hearing it and not contemplating doing it. I can't put myself in that position.
He loved me, really? So he loved you so much.
Hold on. I guess some of my VA meds just arrived in the mail. Let me see what they are real quick here.
That he would go into the back and do that to himself? Because guys that are that happy, they don't think that that's the better option. At least that's the way I feel. And that's my opinion. And that's the opinion of a lot of people. And to me, she doesn't act like an innocent lady. And my heart goes out to Raza. Just remember, your grandson is a firecracker. And he's got a mouth and he's very, very smart. Yeah, that's Miss Granddad.
Sure, let's see what you're saying here. Let's break this down.
and do that to himself. So he loves so.
I can't do this, Navy. This is too fucking horrible.
Marvon Sr. looks like he don't want to talk about it no more, but you don't give a shit.
He looks like he wants to damn run away and never come back.
Happy. He was so happy with me. Look.
Okay, we got to hear the whole damn thing. And y'all, if you're watching, do not believe what this woman is saying. Trigger warning here. This is not true. This is not how mental health works. It's not how families operate. This is the opinion of a very, I could say a lot, but disturbed individual, okay? It is not true that if a family member commits suicide, that it is anyone's fault. Half the time, 90% of the time, 99% of the time, it's not even theirs. They typically find that people have very real physical changes in the brain when these kind of decisions are made, or chemical changes or out of balance changes. I mean, I'm not a fucking doctor. I can tell you some things I've read. I'm not going to because I'm not Molly. But rest assured, this is not how it works. It's not your fault if a family member does this to themselves. It's just not. It's why people don't go to fucking jail when it happens, Molly.
Of how happy he was with her. Really? So weird, right?
This is Molly's copium for being so debunked with so many hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of video live streams showing that they fed the kids, that they were in love, that they were a normal family. And she is so pissed that we put those videos, that Puzzle Pieces put it up. We put up Puzzle Pieces videos. She tried to claim they were edited. So then I went in and pulled the original videos and showed you guys and sat on streaming the original live streams for huge amounts of time to show Molly you're lying. Everyone, look, Molly is lying. These videos have not been edited down to take away context. In fact, if you watch the videos, there is a mountain of them being happy, hugging and kissing, having small arguments, the kids acting up, them handling it responsibly like good parents do. I mean, massive amounts of stuff that debunked Molly. And all of it was in its original live streamed form. We're talking hours and hours and hours every day of live streams. And Molly is so pissed that she got debunked and proven to be a malicious, vile liar, that she goes and drives to their home and she goes out front and then says all what you're about to hear.
He was so happy. He was so happy with me. Look how much he loved me. Really? So he loved you so much that he would go into the back and do that to himself?
Molly, one more time, and this is a fact. You're lying. It's not true. But you saying this around these two people will cause them to think the same thing. That's how logic works. I know you don't understand logic even to the most basic degree, but if I say a person who off themselves X, Y, and Z, it doesn't just apply to Dre. It doesn't just apply to Marvon. It just doesn't apply to one family member. It applies to all of them. So it applies to all the people that lived with Marvon, to all the people that ignored Marvon. So what you are saying is causing them to contemplate if they would have acted differently, maybe this wouldn't have happened.
Because guys that are that happy, they don't think that that's the better option.
Yes, they do. If they wake up every day to massive headaches, there are people that do it because of physical pain. Intolerable physical pain causes it. Intolerable mental pain. I know veterans that have done it because they get out of war and they keep having flashbacks of what happened there and they kill themselves. And these are facts. This is part of life. It's part of trauma. It's part of the human mind. It's what makes the human mind care, because they don't forget things that are extremely painful, that are extremely good, that are extremely bad. You know, we don't get to selectively pick the things that our mind focuses on and remembers and dreams about and haunts us in nightmares. That's what PTSD is. That's what, you know, anxiety and depression is. So you are just so fucking wrong. You are literally, I just don't know what else to say. It's so bad.
At least that's the way I feel. And
At least that's the way you feel. Well, we're glad you feel that way about families that have somebody do what Marvon did. We're glad that you're that abusive, that you're that misinformed, that you're that illogical, unintelligent, unstudied, uneducated. We're glad that that's how you are, because we're not that way. We don't believe this shit.
that's my opinion.
It's not an opinion. You didn't state an opinion. You stated that Dre logged in to a different account under a sock account, went and uploaded a bunch of selective videos to create a narrative that they were all happy. And your evidence that they weren't happy is that Marvon did what he did. That is not an opinion. That is you being destructive and nasty and harassing.
And that's the opinion of a lot of people. And
No, it's not. No, it's not. That if people hold that misinformed opinion, they most likely have never experienced death, loss, and suicide. Okay? And I don't even mean in their immediate family. I mean just in their family or around them. Okay? Once you've gone through something like that, you don't hold these kind of childish, naive thoughts in your head.
to me, she doesn't act like an innocent lady.
So that means Letitia and the rest of them also don't act like an innocent lady. That also means they don't act like it. This is the worst thing for people. If Wynette, let's pretend that Wynette, Letitia, and Marvon Sr. really are experiencing the amount of trauma that they say they are. I haven't ever said otherwise, but I'm just saying, let's say they are. It is so abusive for you to continually put yourself in their face on the phone in a video call and repeat this stuff to them. It's almost like you are a hate machine. You just churn out the most hateful, negative thoughts around everybody that you're around. It's like that you're an abuse machine.
And my heart goes out to Raza.
Your heart goes out to their grandkid. Your heart goes out to the grandkid. Okay, why?
Just remember, your grand.
Because you know what that sounds like. You know why I just said that, Molly? Because you just said that the people Marvon loves, he must not have really loved because he did what he did. The people that he lives with, the people that he loves, that he lives with, he must not really love them because he did what he did. If you really, this is what you said, not me. This is you talking. I'm repeating you. How is what you said about Dre, when you said the reason that he doesn't love Dre is because he wouldn't have done what he did if he loved Dre, not apply to the child? And by you repeating what you're saying and now bringing the kid into it, we have to apply what you said before to the kid. And if we do that, you just said Marvon doesn't love his kid or he wouldn't have did what he did. And I feel sorry for the kid. These are your exact words. I'm not adding anything here. The same logic of how you describe Dre does fit the children. And this is what makes you so destructive and nasty.
My son is a firecracker. And he's got a mouth and he's very, very smart.
Now she has realized, if you look at her body language, that what she says does apply to the children. And she's trying to look at Marvon Sr. and feel out whether he's mad at her and he's realized what she just said. I guarantee the man realized what she just said. I guarantee he's realized it. Why is he just looking at the ground with his arms crossed like this, with this sad, pained look on his face? Because he's feeling sadness and pain over what you just said, Molly. And he's trying to lock it out of his damn head. He can't even look you in the eye right now. Till you stop talking.
He's very smart.
He seems quiet.
Yeah. I see him like one time.
Marvon looks like him.
Yeah, it's a very defensive posture, Lauren. Also, you know, by what she just said, let alone God forbid that Marvon Sr. or Wynette apply it to themselves, because you're saying that when someone leaves other people, it means they don't love them, which is not true. Everyone watching, it's not true. But when someone has to leave, like Marvon did, he left through doing what he did, they don't love the people that are in their life. Well, guess what Marvon Sr. did to Marvon Jr. many years ago, and through his whole life, he left. So I'm sure Marvon Sr. is also sitting there trying to get it out of his head, like this woman just described me leaving. You know, what she described also applies to me with my decisions about Marvon. right? And I don't know how Molly doesn't know this when she's speaking. Like, this is very mundane, regular kind of, like, does she just talking without thinking and then realizing it later? Or, you know, how is that possible? How is she not prepared for this? She drove all this way to interview them. She had to have prepared what she was about to say to some extent, right? Does she realize what she's saying, Navy, in your opinion? Does she realize that it also applies to Marvon Sr. and Letitia?
No, because all she's thinking of is the best way in her mind that she can attack Dre. That's
Dre.
it. And she has no situational awareness. This woman has she just vomits at the mouth all this bullshit and doesn't really care who it lands on.
Yeah.
Like, she aims it at people, but it also lands on those around her, and she does not care. Because it's the Molly show, right?
Yeah. She gets worked up and mad at Dre. And then you can tell that she is. I was literally pointing out how she mentioned Dre's name and then got this horribly angry look on her face, right? After she gets mad at mentioning Dre, then she goes into the big performance of insulting Dre and putting her down, where she gets carried away and starts saying things that also apply to Marvon, Letitia, Wynette, the child, the children. Then she realizes and feels a little bit like, oh shit, and starts looking at them in this kind of like, you know, changing the subject, trying to get them to move forward with the conversation, maybe forget about what I just said kind of way. The body language, the way she's acting, the body language of Marvon Sr., it all shows this dynamic between them of uncomfortability, of Molly being uncomfortable even with what she's saying, but she's using deceptive ways of moving past it, as opposed to, you know, oh my God, I'm so sorry I just said that, or oh, please forgive me, I shouldn't have said that, or anything like that, which anyone with a heart or a soul at 1% would say this, would apologize for what they just said to these people.
He does.
I saw him getting down. I talked to him.
I don't know how much more I can do. How long we've been live? Almost 2 hours. I can't keep doing this. This is so gross.
Sir, did you just hear what he just said? Oh, because of the traffic. He said, none of us ever knew that.
Yeah.
The timing. You better back that train up. He just said that, and that's new information. He was planning a trip to come to Savannah.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? We have all of the recorded video from before Marvon Sr. did this. I'm shutting this down. I'm taking a break. I can't do it. We have all the recorded video. We know what Marvon Jr. said. We know what Dre said. We know what the kids said. It's recorded. Their lives are recorded. They were live streamers. Daily live streamers to an audience over 700,000 people, and more video. Even though there's a massive amount of video, there's even more video that was locked behind a member paywall. That's why you started to attack Dre like you did. You didn't know about a lot of the video that was behind a member paywall, and you didn't bother to check the massive amount of video that wasn't. And you saying all this shit and creating all these new things, and it's just your desperate attempt to change the subject and move it on and hope to God nobody's going to end up, you know, looking at what you said and breaking it down, and maybe we'll miss it because we did for 8 days, but now we've got it. We're going to go through the last half an hour of that video. And again, I apologize for dragging it out in the reaction, but I have to. How do you react to such nasty, evil, like, this is Molly's real self here. Well, like, this is not a staged thing. Go ahead.
No, and the live chat saying that it wasn't new information. Like, they had talked about this. That's why they were getting the camper ready.
Okay. So yeah, and that makes sense because Marvon had tried to have conversations with Letitia. If you recall the video evidence we have, they talk about how 3 months before Marvon did what he did. Oh my God. Wow. They were so close to going, they got the camper ready. Like, I'm not going to say what I just thought out loud because I'm not Molly Golightly. But
yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah. Hold on. I got to roll my head back here. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Because I've been asking myself what the fuck happened this whole time. Anyway, 3 months before Marvon did what he did, he tried to have a conversation with Letitia. And then after that, they talked about the conversation with Letitia. These videos are what caused us to know about Letitia ripping Marvon Jr. off. And once Letitia showed up on Molly's streams and started to try to raise money using the lies that Dre had poisoned Marvon and starved the kids and all this stuff, as you all know, Dre did a couple final videos. And in those final videos, she tells us and shows us proof that Katie ended up having and putting out on Katie's Facebook that Letitia has a history of running off with money and taking money and getting in trouble for stealing large amounts of money in her past. So that's one of the things that led to the fraud raiser being criticized was, wait a minute, you're putting all this money into the personal account of a person who has done all of this before, who has lied while taking money before and then ran with it. And now you're seeing Letitia and Molly dox people that want refunds after seeing this. After they realized that Molly, Letitia, LB, Goose, Justin all withheld information about Letitia. After we've realized this, we want refunds. It's one of the things that led to refunds. It's one of the things that led to them doxing the people that wanted refunds, doxing the criticizers that led to this whole mess. And essentially, all of that does mean something. All of it means that, you know, we kind of, it's not hard to say that this is most likely going to be a fraud raiser when you have people doing those things. It does tell us that their actions were about money. We've been trying to figure out why they started the lies against Dre in the first place, the lies that were used to do the fundraiser. We have to get a lawyer to protect these kids and Marvon in the coma from Dre because Dre is a starver and a murmurer and all these things. Why did you start those lies? What evidence did you have? Or was it because you wanted to create the opportunity for a fundraiser? And now we know it was to create the opportunity for a fundraiser. Now we know, thanks to all of the way that Molly's acting now, the vindictiveness, the attacks against Dre, it all tells us that this is all to punish Dre. And they're punishing Dre because Dre didn't allow herself to be victimized by their defamation and lies and didn't allow her brand to be victimized by using the following she had to propel their fundraiser. And she stood against it and exposed it, and it backfired, and it messed up their plans. And now Molly is going to take every opportunity that she can to punish Dre and attack Dre so that in the future, when Molly does this to another family, when she does this in another story, the victim, when they find out, oh God, why is this Molly lady lying about me when my husband just died or my child just died or this thing just happened? And they go look at the past, they're going to see, oh shit, if I stand up to Molly, she's going to keep attacking me and stalking me and doxing me. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let Molly make her money and I'm going to keep quiet. Anyway, though, I'm getting off here at least for a couple hours because I want to process what I just saw. And when we finish that video, I'm going to shut up more. I apologize. It's just really extreme shit to watch, y'all. It's really extreme shit. So if you want to support my show, if you want to support us doing a lot of live streams, a lot of uploads, you can like and subscribe and like to UNIRock2, where you can see our produced content and the content that is the result of these live streams. And if you want to monetarily support us, it is Patreon is one way, and paypal.me/UNIRock is another. Thank you for watching. Thank you for any support. And whoa, I can't forget. Let me check the Q&A. I'm not saying anybody put anything in the Q&A, but let me check. So another sex site says, have a good time, find your love. Okay, thank you, random sex site. Deb says, whatever happened to the apartment that was going to that she was going to get for her work? I don't know, but I will try to find out and let you know when I come back. Okay, I'll talk to Cherie because Cherie's been catching up on all that. Please drop the link to the Cash App. Yeah, we'll do. It's in the description, but it's $UNIRACHEL if you want to use Cash App. And you'll find any way to support our show in the description. It's optional. It's literally, you know, if you want to do it, you can. It just literally goes to supporting our show, obviously, like every other, you know, internet podcast, internet show, live stream, or whatever. We don't do fundraisers. We don't do all those kind of things. We don't incentivize you guys to donate more than we will take as all of our time to put towards content, you know, with as much as we possibly can due to you supporting, obviously. But just to add that in, of course, that's our like business model, right? It's not the most lucrative business model, but as our channel grows, it starts to work. It really does. So thankfully, we've been doing this for like 8-9 years now, and we're at a point where, you know, I don't want to become rich by doing YouTube. I don't want to not that I don't want to, but that's not my goal. My goal is to make constant content for you, and whatever happens, happens, right? However much you donate works. However much you subscribe works. If you decide not to donate, I respect you. If you want to unsubscribe, I respect you. Just like you saw a few days ago, and I still hold my opinion that I think it was extremely a bad precedent to be interviewing victims weeks before a trial, weeks before a court date, in those kind of situations. I disagreed when rockAlot did it. I disagreed when they did it with this AWP thing, and I lost about 30 or 40 subscribers when I did that. As I always tell you, you're going to get my opinion here. And if you disagree with it and it makes you want to unsub, I get it. You know, sometimes you feel like you have to do that, right? Though I do request that you allow us to disagree and you stick around and tell me why you disagree. Change my mind, because I do many things to attempt to hear from you and try to get your opinion so that you can change my mind, so that the opportunity exists. Though, either way, thanks for watching. Navy, appreciate you. When are you going to get a channel together so I can get you a bunch of subs, bro? Do you want to shout out your Twitter or anything? Okay.
Yeah, if you want to hit me up at NavyTex37 on Twitter for anything you want to pass along to Uni or anything else. And then my email address is, I'll put it out in the live chat. It's kind of a weird one. If you have anything you'd like to submit.
Let me make a suggestion. I'm not saying you got to do this, but if you want, your Discord name is on the screen. If you want to put at NavyTech37 on there to advertise your Twitter handle and all that, I don't mind. I just want to let you know.
Oh,
okay. No, anytime, bro. Anytime. Appreciate you being here. All right, guys. For the moderators that are watching, I'm going to do a mod meeting in the Butterbot. And we do intend to come back tonight, but it depends on what happens. It depends on what kind of content comes in, what kind of stuff we do. Maybe if I end up talking to another creator, or if there's, you know, a conversation we need to have, we may not stream until tomorrow, but I'll try to schedule it as soon as possible once I know when we're going live, okay? Because I know some of you have been asking me to schedule earlier, and it is my intent to schedule as early as possible. I've just been really busy, of course, in the last couple months, and because of that, I typically can't schedule the stream until a couple hours beforehand. So I'm working it to where we can schedule the day ahead or a week ahead, but we'll work on all that later. Anyway, I'm done rambling. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. We're Audi 5000 G. Peace. UNIRock out.